It's been a while. I'm not sure what number it is. We're still in season 18 of I Should Be Writing. We're at the end of the year, and I'm doing a 2022 gift guide.
But I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is the podcast for wannabe fiction writers, and I'm your host, Mur Lafferty. And I am back. I spent all of November podcasting and writing. I wrote 50,003 words, and I did 30 podcasts for my Patreon supporters, which basically took most of my time and mental energy, and then I was burned out. And so now we're in December. So I'm going to be doing a couple more episodes this month. I'm going to be reassessing what I want from the podcast and what I want from Ditch Diggers, and then we'll start anew in January. I do have one more interview. Yes, Rebecca J. Ross. We'll be having Rebecca Ross on next Thursday, the 20th. That's not next Thursday. Whatever it is, whatever the 20th is, that's when she'll be on. I guess that's a Tuesday. Yeah, that's a Tuesday. Okay. What is the rejection count up to? Rejection count, good question, because we need to update that, especially for the new year. Or especially for the end of the year, rather. It is at 367. You guys have already beaten one rejection a day. That's pretty amazing. I gave your book to my sister for her birthday a couple of weeks ago. That's awesome. 7 new rejections came in during Nano for Star-Eyed Green. Fantastic. Are the buttons working? Let's see. Yes, awesome. 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I overwhelm it? It's stuck on 371. Why is it stuck on 371? Okay. Now I'm confused. I'm going to assume it's 373. And then we got 2 more from Wired Duck. Congratulations. Okay, that's still... I guess I'm pushing it too fast. There we go. I just got to push it slower. That yay isn't working. And that yay says it's working, and nothing happened. So, I have not hit the yay button onto the Christmas overlay. I always forget something, and it's often the yay button, and I'm sorry. I think... Oh, but I do have confetti. And it's not showing up. Why is the confetti not showing up? I supposedly have confetti. It's not showing up. Okay. Well, lots of confetti, lots of cheering. People put yay buttons in the chat, please, for our wonderful working writers out there. And remember, if you are new at this, we cheer for rejections here because rejections mean you're a working writer. And frankly, we know they suck, and we need something to celebrate. So that's what we celebrate. 4 new rejections from Christian writing. Fantastic. More yay buttons in the chat, please, while I slowly push the rejection button. Now, if I should attach the rejection button with the confetti. That's what I should do. So yeah, if you have any more rejections, please tell me in the chat. We don't normally do rejections immediately, but hey, why not? As for what I've been up to, which is usually what I talk about, so for NaNoWriMo, I tried to write my new novella, which is tentatively titled The Assassin and the Matchmaker, And then I realized I have a considerable rewrites to do on my novel, Chaos Terminal. And so I had to put the novella aside and then started counting all the new words I was writing on Chaos Terminal. And so those two word counts together combined to make 50,003 words in November. And now it's the 8th, and I need to get back to work on the novel. Boy, howdy. I was going to yesterday, but I got a migraine, so that sucked. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on some fun little palette cleanser projects that I'm excited about. I've got just nothing I can talk about yet. And it's not like exciting contracted stuff. It's just stuff that's not Kiki was gonna do Nano this year, but I got into a car crash on Halloween. Oh my gosh. Meds made my brain wonky, so I couldn't write or do anything for weeks. I'm so sorry. Can I get a shout out for Claire after all? We've been raiding into Claire's co-working streams on Mondays. And Claire, I enjoy Claire's game streams as well. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, kind of noodling some fun projects that I'm really looking forward to playing with. And there was one more thing I was gonna do. Crap, what was it? I hope I'll think of it. I can't remember. Still kind of drained from Nano. Have an idea for next Nano, but it'll have to wait till January. Yeah. It's draining. I did 15,000 words in 3 days because I was behind, and then I did like 4,000 words last Monday, and then 4,000 words on Monday, 5,000 on Tuesday, and then 6,000 on Wednesday to make up for the deficit, which I've never done before, and it was a lot, but it was very I finally did it. I've been doing it since 2006, I think. Maybe not every year, but never won. So yeah, and we are celebrating rejections. Now we're up to, what are we up to? Gosh, we were up to 370. Where'd it go? 279. Wow. Remember, if you are listening to this later, if you've been rejected in the past month and a half, because we haven't done a rejection count in a while, please let me know how many they are, because we like to cheer for rejections, because it means you're a working writer. Yeah, that one thing about NaNoWriMo is they've kind of relaxed. I mean, it's a voluntary thing that you can do that's not... Like, if you lie about any of it, no one cares, because you're only, quote-unquote, hurting yourself. There's nothing to win. There's no prize, except for a little image on your username, on your avatar on NaNoWriMo. But, I try to follow the rules, and the rules used to be very strict, which was you start a project on November 1st, and you write on that project 50,000 words in November. And the November 1st to 31st, there's no November 31st. November 30th is still a hard rule, but you can basically just put words anywhere. And I know lots of people who do, but I think they've actually relaxed that. And, but yeah, I appreciate the loosening of those restrictions, because that helped me actually gain the winning last month. The amount of wild stuff people do for a little badge by their name somewhere. Yeah, they will. Yeah. It is wild. Oh, I wanted to show off my mug. I got my mixed feelings mugs. We've got the yay button on one side, and we've got the how you really feel when you get a rejection on the other side. So, Art by Numbers Ninja, as usual. Didn't do the nano for the first half, but did a short story and finished it shortly after the end of the month, so broke all the nano rules. Hey, you started and ended a story. That's a win, no matter what. Really. Alright, it's time to push the button slowly for Underpope. 5, was that? Yes, congratulations, Underpope, for 5. To make up for my lack of yay button, can we get some yay buttons in the chat for Underpope, please? That's 3, 4, and 5. Stream keeps buffering for me. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure it's a problem on my end. Unfortunately, if it was a problem on my end, I wouldn't know what to do. That's one thing I've never actually figured out. I've seen other streamers go, oh, it's buffering, and then they do some magic or something, but I never know what they do. So even if it was my problem, I wouldn't know how to fix it. I've just been doing it for over 2 years. Why should I learn anything? Anyway, let's talk about books. Now, talking about the books, to start with, for the gift guide, was difficult because I've been sent many books. There are books I want to talk about. There are books that I wanted to talk about but didn't get a chance to, that I'll be talking about. And again, anything I talk about in this stream will be the only thing I've gotten out of it is when they've sent me books. I've sometimes gotten a NetGalley copy, sometimes I've gotten a physical copy, but that is as far as anything goes. Anything else I endorse is a personal endorsement, not necessarily anybody who sent me anything to promote. SpyScribe, you had a story come out recently. Was that an Apex? Yeah, SpyScribe just had a story out. I totally lost track of the Goodreads Choice Awards, and so I didn't even pay attention that all the voting had stopped by the time I looked at it again. So I don't think I made it to level 2. Ursula made it to the finalists, and neither of us won. I realized that, like, with Hugos and Nebulas, you've got a small group of people who, when they look at the nominees, they usually check out the books and judge them. With the Goodreads, it's really a popularity contest. So if you're not a bestseller, you're not going to win. You're just not. I mean, Emily St. John Mandel won the science fiction category with 60,000 votes. If I had 60,000 sales, I would be over the moon. So, yeah, I got 3,200 votes. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, that's... I didn't even expect to win. But that was pretty funny. But the Goodreads Choice Awards are up there. Do I know anybody who won? I don't know. I don't think so. Actually, I don't think I saw who won fantasy. Some people would be happy to sell 3,200 books. Oh, totally! That's what I'm saying. I'm really happy with that many sales or votes. I do not take my position for granted. And, you know, it's cliche, but it is an honor to be nominated. It's the truth. Okay, so we're going to talk about books. I didn't know where to start, but I guess I'll start with the ones I can grab. This one I was excited about. This isn't even fiction. This is How to Defend Your Lair by Keith Ammann, and it is like a Dungeon Master guide, but it reads a little bit like a novel, where it just tells you when you're doing... It's basically combat tactics for Dungeon Masters, but it's written in a really amusing way. And my favorite part is it's got 7 or so layers in the back. What is it? It's got terrain, principles of defense, but my favorite part, right, it's got 16 sample layers in the back, and one of them is a unicorn grove. So if you want to send your party to a unicorn grove, or a Lich's Crypt, that's nice too. Send your party to a unicorn grove, this is the book you need. This is the second book he's done. He wrote The Monsters Know What They're Doing, which was another sort of collection of... I can't say Dungeon Master Guide because there's an actual book called Dungeon Master Guide, but for fantasy role players, especially GMs, this is a fun thing to get. So that is How to Defend Your Lair. Sarah J. Moss, One Fantasy, thank you. I remember that. Hey, Daniel. This is another one I posted a picture of, but didn't get a chance to talk about much. Other Terrors, an inclusive anthology. It is... It's a chance for horror fans and writers to examine quote-unquote the other. It's got Tanana Reeve and Stephen Graham Jones, and it's edited by Stoker Awards winners Vince Liaguno, and Rena Mason. And if you like short stories and you like horror, then you can't go wrong with this collection. So, Other Terrors. Other Terrors, voice of Kiki. Edited by Vince A. Liaguno and Rena Mason. And The Mountain in the Sea. Hyper-intelligent octopi. I tried to say all of the words that are collective for octopus in one go, and it was an incredible failure. Hyper-intelligent octopuses. Do I really need to say anything else? I don't know how you would need to say anything more. The book is The Mountain in the Sea, and it is by Ray Naylor. I believe this was nominated for a Goodreads Award for Best First Novel, I think. But yes. Hyper-intelligent octopus. This one's definitely on my to-be-read pile because hyper-intelligent octopus. I had to get it from my bedside to bring it in here to remember to show it off. Excellent, thank you, Voice of Kiki. Wishlisted that horror anthology. We're going to talk about... We did a Spoilers Club. Check the archives if you haven't heard it. Spoilers Club is something we tried this year that was a lot of fun, where we encouraged people to read the book, and then we interviewed the author and talked about everything that we wanted to. So, What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, I believe came in third for horror on Goodreads Choice Awards. It is disgusting, and it's got lots of mushrooms and dead bunnies, and it's absolutely gross. And I'm very proud to be friends with the author, but that's not why I'm endorsing it. I'm endorsing it because she's freaking T. Kingfisher, and this book is amazing. I will post it as a list in the show notes wire doc, so don't worry about that. These will be posted in the show notes. Yeah, my assistant's already made the list, so I just need to copy and paste. Friends of the stream. Valerie Valdez came out with Fault Tolerance this year. You will know her as The Kids Are Asleep. This is the last book in her trilogy, and that is out now, so you can get all 3 books if you haven't gotten them. The first book was nominated for the Clark Award, so Valerie's pretty amazing. I mean, it's got cats with little astronaut helmets on. I mean, look at that. Why would you not want this? How can you not? It's got cats and little bulbs on their heads. It's cute. Fault Tolerance by Valerie Valdez. And the other books in the series, where did I put them? Prime Deceptions and Chilling Effect. And, other friend of the stream had a book out this year while she was winning all the other awards. Premi Muhammad came up with the third book in her trilogy, The Void Ascendant. Apart from being creepy and awesome, Premi also has some of the best designed covers of this trilogy. Has some amazing covers. So, Premi Muhammad, Void Ascendant. If you want the first two books in that trilogy, Beneath the Rising and A Broken Darkness. I'm sorry, to make the images that you saw in the beginning of the stream, I had to move a lot of my stuff that I have on the shelves behind me over to the bed, and so grabbing names. I can't remember the title of my own books. Oh, but I'm just going to be a complete jerk because I can't show you anything, but I got some suggestion covers yesterday sent to me for Chaos Terminal, the next book in the Midsolar Murders series, and all of them were amazing, and so we are now narrowing it down, and I'm very excited when I'll finally be able to release that. So what else do we got? I didn't get a chance to talk about this one, but this is by a good friend who actually got me into writing 20 years ago? More than that? 22. Now I'm old. But yeah, he's sort of served as a mentor and helped me out, and he's got an excellent voice in horror. If you're a Pseudopod listener, you will have heard some of his stories. They love his stuff at Pseudopod. But this is called Ghost of a Marriage. It's when a guy is haunted by the literal ghost of his marriage. Not his ex-wife, the marriage ghost. And then, I'm not going to say much about this because the Locked Tomb series speaks for itself. But Note of the Ninth did come out. I haven't read it because I wanted to read Gideon and Harrow the Ninth. This is not an easy series to read. There's a lot of... Gideon was pretty straightforward and adventurous. And then Harrow the Ninth was... A lot of it was second person present tense, which I am known to hate, but it fit the book. When people say there needs to be a reason for, say, a marginalized voice in your book, that's BS. I think there needs to be a reason for second person. Because the person saying you, they need to be somebody. Not just God or a narrator. It needs to actually have a voice. Someone behind the voice. And so the best books managed to do that. N.K. Jemisin did it in the 5th season, I believe. I believe that one was the one with the second person asides. And then Harrow has a lot of second person. And then, but Harrow's a little bit hard to follow. I don't remember much from it. I remember all the twists, and I remember the scene with the stew. If you've read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I don't remember, the major plot stuff that was unveiled at the end, so I need to go through that again. But I'm excited. Thank you, Lee. I forgot to mention that one. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree is the Dark Horse Amazing Book of the Year. I believe it was self-published, wasn't it? I think it was. But it was, it's a story about an orc who decides to hang up her sword, end her adventuring days, and open a coffee shop, literally. And nobody in the town knows what a coffee shop is. And so she not only has to build a coffee shop, but she also has to instruct people on what it is. And it reminded me a lot of, only like hardcore podcast fans will remember this, but it reminded me a lot of Nathan Lowell's early work. Quarter Share and further books. It's just a nice book that feels like a hug. There's some conflict, there's some adventure a little bit. But it's just a lovely story. And it was the one that Tor bought it, of course. Excellent. That's great. Thank you, Lee. But yeah, it's just this lovely book. It's called Legends and Lattes, and I don't know anybody who didn't absolutely love it. It reminded me also of Becky Chambers' early stuff, or later stuff, actually. It's just a lovely little fantasy story. And I think the mouse or the cat have got to be my favorite characters. Of course, I don't remember anybody's names, but the excellent characters, excellent story. It's just so good. I'm gonna need to write this down because I did not have that one on my list. Thank you so much, Lee, for reminding me. That will be in the show notes. Yes, the Ratkin Baker. That's who I was talking about. What else do we have? Well, speaking of Becky Chambers, we have The Galaxy and the Ground Within, the latest in the Wayfarer series. And I haven't gotten to this one yet, but I have not read a Becky Chambers book that I have not at least liked. Like, my least favorite one, I only liked. I didn't, love it or anything, but I'm just saying that, like, the worst Becky Chambers book is still better than most other things I've read. Here's I don't know if I ever told you guys this. This is embarrassing, but just to tell you how much I love her stuff, I've gotten to where I don't really feel starstruck around authors anymore because it feels full of myself to say I'm their peer, but at least I know it's like we do the same job, so I don't feel as starstruck. And I've also interviewed a lot of people too. So I've interviewed all of my living heroes. So, I've gotten past that. But when I met Becky Chambers, I almost started to cry. I read her books at just the right time. She started coming out with her books in 2015, 2016, when a lot of things started to go really bad, and it was just what I needed at the right time, and her books meant so much to me that I nearly wept when I saw her. It was very embarrassing. This one is middle grade, but it is by one of my best friends in the world, Matt Wallace, and I read it, and parents especially will know that there are some middle grade books that you wonder, it's like, people put a lot of work into structuring these things. They're not, I think a lot of people think that people who write middle grade dumb stuff down, but, the stuff that's dumbed down is the wrong word, but the stuff that's supposed to appeal to children uses language and situations to appeal to children, but the structures of the books are still fascinating and awesome, and I loved this book. It was awesome. The Supervillain's Guide to Being a Fat Kid. It was the book Matt wished he had when he was a kid. I think it's good for any kids who are fat or any adults who have connections with those kids, or kids who aren't fat who need to understand that people have feelings and you shouldn't step on them, which is not what the book's about, except that it's from his point of view and he deals with a lot of that crap. But it is the fact that, yes, we talked about that, Kiki. When I had Matt on the show, we talked about how fat was not a bad word. It's a descriptive word. But yeah, what happens is this kid thinks that the superheroes are kind of jerks, but there's a supervillain in jail who is fat and also brilliant, and so the kid writes to him about, give me your advice. How did you become who you are, being as large as you are? And the supervillain writes back. And it's fantastic and fascinating, and yeah, this was a great book. Where are we? We are Kaiju Preservation Society. This was another Spoilers Club. We had John on. Poor guy had COVID at the time, but he still came on the show because he's awesome. Kaiju Preservation Society. This is the story of how he wrote this book is told in the either introduction or afterword or something, but it's a fascinating one where he was trying to write something that was politically charged with bad stuff happening, and he couldn't write it with what was going on in the world. His brain just couldn't meld the two. And so once he finally decided not to write that book, this book was pretty much born on a hole inside his head. Like, I think he told his editor he wasn't going to turn in his book. He went to take a shower. When he got out of the shower, he had the whole plot. And it took him 6 weeks to write it. And it's one of those books where the title says everything you need to know. It's about Kaiju Preservation Society. I'm running out of books to show people. Unfortunately, a lot of my other books were NetGalley or ebook, but I will remind you of them, and there are, for the benefit of the people on the stream, there are pictures cycling through, and we'll have links to the old episodes, but other books include Lily Lainoff's One for All. Please tell me if I got that wrong, because I can never remember which one it is, but it is a feminist retelling of The Three Musketeers, but with a chronically ill heroine. And Lily was just featured in The Writer magazine. I just got it, the January issue, and there's a big old piece on Lily in there, and I was just like, I know her! I was just interviewing her a couple of months ago, but yeah, it's a really good book, especially for representation of people with chronic illness. And it's girls in ball gowns and sword fights. I mean, what's not to like? And so that is One for All by Lily Lainoff. We talked to Veronica Roth about Poster Girl, which was the after the fall of a totalitarian regime, and the person who was literally the poster girl, kind of like what Big Brother would have been had 1984 been real. Whoever posed for the picture of Big Brother, that's what she was. And so she's imprisoned, and then 10 years later people come to her and offer her freedom for helping them out with something. And that is the premise of that book. One thing I really like about Veronica Roth is her later works have been like after the big thing happened. And I just think that's a really interesting way to frame a story. Like, you're not going to tell us... There are plenty of books out there to show you the adventure of the big thing that changed everything. But she's been telling stories of like 10 years later, and of the people who were instrumental in changing things, what happened to them. And it's still like a science fiction or fantasy story with a fantastic future, but it's a lot more personal and a lot more people focused. It's interesting. I'm going to talk about a couple more. Remember, the ones I don't mention will probably be flipping through in the stream, and I'll be listing them all on the show notes for you listening later. But we did speak to many people this year who told us about their awesome books. I am checking to make sure I haven't left anything out that I wanted to talk about. If anybody has their favorite books that I haven't talked about, please put them in the chat and we can mention those, because I still can't believe I forgot Legends and Lattes. Right, we got When Franny Stands Up, which was about a pretty much a stand-up comic, I believe, in Prohibition years, I think. I was going to talk about Meru, but that is actually out. I read the arc of it, and it's out in February. So we'll talk about Meru when Meru comes out by ISBW. ISBW did come out with Machine Hood this year. And, yeah, that one got the attention of my my mentor, James Patrick Kelly, who told me he wrote her fan mail. Cameron Hurley came out with Future Artifacts, which was her short story collection. Yeah, I feel like I'm still missing stuff. Apologies for that. But yes, all these will be in the show notes. And more. A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexander Rowland. Okay, I haven't read that one. That sounds good. Veronica Roth's next book is going to be an SF retelling of Antigone. That's right, I heard about that. That sounds great. My Government Means to Kill Me by Rashad Newson. T. Kingfisher's new self-pub. Illuminations, wow. It's weird, I talk about writing with Ursula, but we don't actually talk about specifically what we're writing, and so sometimes I know I have a book coming out, but she never talks about what it is, and so I have to hear from somebody else what books have come out from Ursula, or T. Kingfisher, excuse me. The Golden Enclave by Naomi Novik, finishing up the Scalomance series. Oh, Rashid Newson, thank you, Christian writing. Yeah, these are great. We're moving away from the books and getting to some other things. And I even did something for this. It's wild, I know. So yeah, as much as I don't always use it, but when I do use it, it's very effective, and that is For the Words. I've talked about it a couple times. I usually talk about it mostly at NaNoWriMo time. Where you're taking, you choose a monster, and the monster says you have to write X amount of words in Y amount of time. And then if you do that, you beat the monster, and you get XP, and you get drops, and then there are quests. And a lot of what you do, as you can see, is get your avatar and dress it up with a variety of accoutrements. And I have seen some people with some terrifyingly decked out avatars. I mean, I was proud I got a clockwork owl to set on my shoulder. And a headband. But there's some pretty amazing stuff. So, one thing I don't like about it is you use real money to buy fake money, and you buy subscription time with the fake money. That's the only thing I don't like about it. So, use real money to buy crystals. The crystals will buy you subscription time, and it's not that expensive. I think it's can I go to, okay, let's see if I can buy crystals. Hero Journal Community Store, there we go. Yeah, so we got 44 crystals they're on sale now for $3. And then to buy subscription time, you need 44 crystals. So it's $3 a month right now, usually $4 a month. Since this is technically a gift guide thing, you can buy gift subscriptions for other people. I believe they just need to be a member of the site. But I gave away a couple of subscriptions a couple of years ago, and I know it's pretty easy. So it's a fun gamification of writing. If that kind of thing incentivizes you, I recommend it. And you can try to keep the time and write in Scrivener or Word or whatever you prefer and then paste it in. Or you can write in the browser and then copy paste that into Scrivener later, which is what I usually do. 3,350 crystals for $170. Woo! So yeah, I always like For the Words. I don't always use it. Maybe I should, but it's, I find it really useful. Then there's gadgetry. People have been talking about this a lot on the Discord. The Remarkable 2. I have a friend who had the Remarkable, and it is a super shiny tablet. I have come very close to buying one myself, but the thing is, nothing beats pen and paper for me. I love pen and paper for just making notes. And I'm not sure, even with this device, I would feel the same. But I know the people who do like to write with a stylus love this. I know at least 2 people in the chat, or in our, 2 people in our Discord have it and love it. So, yeah, the Remarkable 2 is just a tablet where you have an excellent stylus and you can upload stuff. And I believe it's got a pretty good, what is it? Just the device that takes your crappy handwriting and puts it into actual letters. But it is the shiny tech thing that a lot of people want. And I have seen a demonstration of it. Actually, T. Kingfisher's husband has one, and he was showing it to me last year. And it is very shiny. And I covet one, but I honestly don't know if I would use it or not. So, that's the Remarkable. Again, I don't get any kickbacks. I don't have any affiliate links. This is just what I know people have been talking about and they love. I did do a search for other tablets that people love. And, of course, Kindle and iPad came up. If you, the downside to the higher level Kindles and the iPad are, if you get easily distracted, you might use your tablet for something other than what you got it for, because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to be a multi-tool. I have a Kindle Paperwhite, and I specifically have a Kindle Paperwhite because I don't want, if I'm reading ebooks, I don't want pop-ups of email or chat or Discord or anything to distract me. I want to be able to focus on the book, because focusing is hard enough. So, but of course, those are excellent tablets if you can focus on them. There's also, let's see, the Preview, and I've not actually checked these. And Wacom has really good tablets. I know Numbers Ninja has one for drawing. I don't know how it is for note-taking, but these were also mentioned in the best tablets that are like Remarkable 2. And I'm going to check. Annie has one. Hey, Annie. Annie loves the Remarkable 2. Tell us what you love about it if there's anything you want to say about it. Would love to have that. I'm going to catch up a chat. The best argument for Twitter's continued existence is the all-caps exchanges between T. Kingfisher and the Fabulous Shepherd. Yes, that's true. And Daniel says technically all money is fake money. Yes, that is true as well. Shauna loves They're Remarkable too. It feels very close to pen and paper. Cats like the stylus a lot, and that makes writing difficult. Do cats like the stylus more than a pen? And he says, I used to use a lot of paper notebooks, and it's rough to keep track of what is in which notebook. Yes, I have that problem frequently. I actually just sat down with a label maker the other day and tried to label all of my notebooks. But now I need to remember to keep them all in one place and to go to that one place when I need a notebook. Unfortunately, I still do the thing where I grab a piece of paper and start jotting notes on it. So, that's a me problem. But I have lots of people who really, really recommend The Remarkable too. I don't know anybody who has it that doesn't love it. So maybe I should save up for one. I don't know. I have the subscription so I can work in Google Docs if I want, and then transfer notes, etc. to Remarkable. Yes, that one was kind of annoying, discovering that I don't think you have to have the subscription, but you can pay a monthly subscription to be able to do certain things. What is it? It's called Connect, right? Seamless note-taking with unlimited cloud storage and sync. Exclusive subscriber offers in our web shop and up to 3 years extra device protection. Okay, so that is what you pay if you go monthly as well. Cloud storage, protection plan, offers, mobile and desktop note-taking is coming soon. I don't know what that means. I thought there was already mobile and desktop note-taking because that's what it can do. Anyway. So yeah, that's The Remarkable. I'm going to show you 2 pen sites because I've shown you guys some of my fountain pens, and then the fact that I have my ink from the Inkvet calendar that I've already opened because that was my treat for opening for doing NaNoWriMo. First is an indie place called Papier Plume. Pardon me if I just murder that French. This is a little store that we ran across when we were wandering around New Orleans, and that's where I found this little number, which is the Kaweco. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's German. It doesn't. The way I say it does not sound German. But you take the lid off, and then you screw it down here, and then the tiny little thing becomes a reasonably sized pen. And for my fingers, I really like something that's this small and it fits in my pocket without actually feeling it at all. I was surprised at how well it fit in my pocket. So I found that at this store, and so I became a huge fan immediately. I also bought the Christmas Collections ink, which are all very shiny. They're red and blue and green, named after Christmassy things. There it is. Carolina in my mind? That's weird. Sorry, I'm completely just... Why do they have a North Carolina specific ink? And why is it teal? Okay. Oh, it was for the Triangle Pen Show. There's a Triangle Pen Show? How do I not know this? Where the hell have I been? I'm writing that down. Triangle Pen Show. Man, there's a Triangle Pen Show. I'm going to have to yell at T. Kingfisher's husband, because if there's a Triangle Pen Show, I know he knows about it, and he did not tell me. We're going to have words, Kevin. Words! But anyway, if you'd like to support small businesses, I recommend this business very much. I also bought a little wax stamp that is a little present. It's shaped like a present that will be fun to use while doing Christmas cards. We'll see how long the wax lasts, or how long my patience is to actually make the wax stamp. But anyway, they have their own colors and they also have dip pens and glass pens. And I asked the guy, honestly speaking, how often you have to dip those pens, and he said a lot. And so I said, not for me, because while it's really neat to have a pen like that, it looks cool, but I couldn't disrupt my thought process to constantly be dipping in the ink. And knowing me, I would dump the ink over. That's just what I would do. Papier Plume Snowball Party Special Edition ink. Oh, wow. I don't need any more ink, and besides, that's out of stock. So, yeah. That is an online store for a local New Orleans pen store that I discovered, and I love them. So next is I don't know how big this company is, but it is usually where I go for my pens. The Goulet Pen Company. It's where I've found lots of the pens that I have. One thing I love about this is they have things broken up into, like, if you're just getting into it and you don't want to be overwhelmed, you can go to starter pens. And so it'll show you pens that are not super expensive or super difficult to use. And they're still attractive. So you've got all these pens. These are like all $23, $27, $9. So if you're just looking to check out fountain pens, they have a little beginner pen area. And tons of ink. Tons and tons of ink. You can search by category or brand or accessories. And next level pens. This is where you can spend all the monies. Now we're getting into the 3-digit and 4-digit pens. Okay, these are like in the 50s, but still. Every once in a while, I'll get an email with a shiny pen on it, and I'll follow the link, and it will take me to a pen that is $14,000. They have a pen on here that's $14,000. Can I, let's look for, where's the $14,000 one? See, the price even goes to like $250. There's more than $250. If you have several $1,000s to toss away on a pen, here's where to go. If you have $9 to spend on a pen, this is also where to go. So it's, it fits a lot of people. Usually Preemie and I will have an email exchange every time they come out with a new newsletter, because we will either be wanting something or in outrage that they expect us to pay how much for a pen, but it's still a good store. They have plenty for those of us who don't want to spend $1,000 or more on a pen. But they also have a gift guide and a shopping guide. Shopping by activity, bullet journaling. I hear this is popular. I've never been able to get into it. But they've also got lots of paper, lots of journals. I don't know why these pens are best for bullet journaling, but apparently they are. So these are good places to go for pens. And, I will endorse the tiny little Kaweco. These are called the Lilliput pens. I believe there are 4. Yeah, they don't even have this one on there. I bought this one at the New Orleans store. This one's got, I don't know if you can see it, it's got little ridges on it for better gripping. But yeah, these all of these turn out to be this big when you close them. And they're lots of fun. What else was I going to talk about? Did I get everything? Yeah, there's other stuff I wanted to talk about, but it's not actually gifts. So, like there's Goodreads alternates, like Library Thing and not Storygraph. Storygraph's something else, isn't it? What is Storygraph? Oh, okay. tracks your reading, choose your next book based on your mood and your favorite topics and themes. Interesting. I think this does cost money, doesn't it? I thought somebody was talking about this on the site, on Discord. And you had reading challenges, custom tags and list, content warnings, halves and quarter stars. A lot of people want those on Goodreads. Built-in DNF and owned. Reading journal up next. Book clubs. Oh, you can import your data from Goodreads. That is badass. Wow. Oh, and it's free, apparently. They have a paid plus... It's hard to say. A paid plus plan for users looking for a more enhanced personal experience. So you can buy Storygraph for somebody. $4.99 a month. You're investing in a Goodreads alternative not owned by Amazon. That's a bonus. So yeah, this is something you can spend money on or give somebody a gift or trial. And yes, you can gift the plus. So yeah, that's Storygraph. I'm glad I looked that up because that is something you can give people and it looks pretty cool. Looks like I need to start using this. All right. I'm going to check the chat and see if anybody else has anything to endorse. Where is the chat thing? Just went to trianglepenshow.com and got site temporary unavailable. Okay. Oh, good. Wonderpens.ca is a lovely Canadian site for any Canadians out there. Thank you, Shauna. The Triangle Pen Show is put on by the Triangle Pen Club. The plot thickens. So is there anything anybody else wants mentioned or wants my opinion on? I guess I have to say this too. I mean, buy my book. Also a good gift. Station Eternity. It is Agatha Christie meets Babylon 5. Miss Marple in space. Except my hero is not super old. But there is a super old woman in it. There is a murder granny in it. People think I'm kidding when I say that. I got a message from a friend going, "Oh, there really is a murder granny in this book." I'm like, yes, I told you that. So yeah, you can also buy my book. The murder granny was my favorite character. Thank you. Yes, she was my best to come up with. She was delightful. So I will have a list of all of this in the show notes. And if you missed anything or you came in late or you're listening later. But thank you very much for hanging out and dropping by. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming the Blaseball Fall tomorrow. I haven't talked to Joey about that. But Blaseball does come back on the 9th of January, so I'm going to be adding some of those streams in. I know it's a very, very focused niche, for people. But if people do care, then that's what I'm going to be doing. But I'll be back on Monday, I hope, with Ditch Diggers. And we're going to have generally the usual podcast schedule for the rest of the month, except around, I guess, after the 21st, or that week of right before Christmas, I'll be streaming, and then probably not again until January. I hope someone has given Station Eternity to an actual granny. It would make me delightedly pleased. That would be cool. But yeah, that's my stream schedule, and if you want to get the podcast, and if you can't catch me live all the time, you can find that at merverse.com, or just search for I Should Be Writing on any podcast app. My book, Station Eternity, is available for purchase now. Ebook, physical book, and in audiobook. Yes, that's the third thing. And yeah, buy all the things on my list so we can support authors, because things are tough for authors right now. A lot of us anyway. And hopefully we'll see you next week. And until then, you should be writing.
do I do this to
I Should Be Writing is available to you under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Theme music by John Anelio. Art by Numbers Ninja. Production by Summer Brooks. And hosting by Libsyn. Find all of this information and more at merverse.com. And remember, we can't do this without you. Thanks for your support.
Well, I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who. Yeah, I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.